many sisters have insulin resistance, which has to do with blood sugar regulation. Cravings is a major symptom. Hangry attacks, anxiety, cystic acne, high testosterone, all of these things, weight gain, especially in the midsection, are all symptoms of insulin resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And so you really want to get this under control if you have PCOS. A lot of times we're not even told that we have it because it's not checked, or they just check our glucose levels, which is a late detection of insulin resistance. And you could have just the slightest bit of insulin resistance, and that could be raising testosterone, that could be affecting your PCOS symptoms. So it's really important to manage your blood sugar no matter what when you have PCOS. I know you have if you have sugar cravings, it can be hard. So sometimes supplementing with something like Ovasitol is helpful. Then the third type is adrenal fatigue, which is when you feel fatigued, you wake up after 8 hours of sleep, like you could take another nap. It's just really hard to function and work out. And in that case, you want to focus on reducing stress, making sure that you're not doing intense, crazy workouts, managing your stress better, making sure your blood sugar is under control and you're not restricting carbs, calories, over exercising. Things like this can make adrenal fatigue much worse. And you're prioritizing sleep. So that's really important with adrenal fatigue. And then there's hypothyroidism. So many sisters, our thyroid is suppressed, especially if you get off of the birth control pill, especially if you have blood sugar issues. Your thyroid can be suppressed, and that can affect your hair, causing hair loss. It can affect your weight. No matter what you do, you can gain weight. So this is something you want to check through blood work to see if you have it. You might need medication. You might not. It could be as simple as changing your lifestyle. Especially going gluten-free can help with your thyroid, because there have been studies showing that when you eat gluten, it attacks the thyroid molecule through something called molecular mimicry. But I'm not going to get into that right now. I have explained all 4 types. For more details, listen to our podcast episode.
Yeah, the podcast is great because we go into a lot more in detail. We explain each type more in detail, and we also give like supplement recommendations, treatment options for each PCOS type. So listen to the podcast and let us know in the comments right now, which type do you think you're in, or which combination of types, because you can have a combination. You can have 2, you can have 3, you can have all 4. Talion had the first 3. So, yeah.
I saw a question from Selena Kadamian. I'm Armenian living in Houston, Texas.
Fellow Armenian.
Absolutely love your page and posts. What is a good protein shake that I can use for PCOS that tastes good? Well, I love Philosophy protein powder, and I've linked it in the highlight called Faves. If it's not there, I will post it today because I used it in my smoothie. So stay tuned in stories. I'll post it.
Jose asks, which workout is best for us with PCOS? Well, there's not one single workout that's going to be best for everyone with PCOS, but what you want to do is find a workout that's going to treat the underlying issues with PCOS. So with PCOS, it's not about working out hard as possible, burning as many calories as possible, and eating as little as possible. That would be the wrong way of going at it, because those are for short-term results and can actually hurt your body more than it can help you. So when it comes to working out with PCOS, we want to focus on improving insulin resistance. We want to focus on improving metabolism and keeping stress levels low. How do we do that? We like to do slow weighted workouts, which is basically lightweight training, where we're using light weights done in a slow fashion, not slow motion. We're not like, no, we're just doing it slowly and efficiently so that we're helping to, better work the muscles while keeping stress levels low. So we love doing slow weighted workouts, and we have a whole library of workouts in the sisterhood if you're interested. All right. And I can explain, if you want me to explain any of this, the cortisol or the improving metabolism or how to improve insulin resistance with workouts, please let me know in the comments and I can dive more deep into it. Or else I could go into everything for like hours if you want me to. All right. Let me scroll down here a little bit. Are there recipes that are free of animal protein in the sisterhood? I want to join but don't tolerate animal protein very well.
I'm in the process of adding vegan, vegetarian recipes to the sisterhood. I am doing a lot of cooking behind the scenes, taking photos, adding recipes. They're not up yet, but I will announce when they are.
Yeah. Yes. This is a good question. Is cutting out all sugar really recommended?
Yes. And
You want to like explain what cutting out all sugar means?
Okay.
It doesn't mean like you can't have any sugar at all, like in like natural sugar with food. It just I think you should.
All right.
All right.
No matter what it is, if it's natural or if it's like candy, it's still sugar. It's going to affect your blood sugar levels and your insulin resistance. That doesn't mean like run away and freak out when you see sugar. You know, it's life. There's sugar in everything. There's sugar in bread. There's sugar in everything. But you can cut out the excessive sweeteners. Perhaps if you're putting honey every time you drink tea, or if you're relying on cakes for a snack or crackers or cookies for a snack, you know, unnecessary things that can be swapped out or just cut out completely. I do suggest not engorging on fruits. Is that the right word? When you have cravings, I know that's a healthier version of sugar. Of course, there's fiber and water and fruit and minerals and vitamins. That's wonderful, but it still has sugar in it. So if you have cravings and you get yourself something like an acai bowl, for example, to like help with those sugar cravings, that's not ideal for PCOS because it's going to make your blood sugar go up and then crash, and then you're going to get hungry, blah, blah, blah. So choose for something with higher protein or something with nuts, something that's not based on sweetness.
And if you want to have like a fruit, like a piece of apple, it's great to pair that with like almond butter because healthy fats and protein help to absorb the sugar slowly. And it's like you don't get the cravings as fast.
As quickly. Yeah. And if you're really struggling with cutting out sugar, I do suggest taking Ovasitol to help with your blood sugar control because it's not always just diet. You have to supplement sometimes.
Yeah. And Teresi says, would just like to say that after watching your video about supplements, I've started taking them and feel so much better. Less fatigue, more energy. Woo! Thank you, Teresi. Appreciate that. And she's talking about our YouTube video where we did a whole video on the best supplements for PCOS, and we like ranked them for you, like the top 6, and they also are for like different PCOS types. So that's on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, link in bio, you'll be able to watch all our PCOS YouTube videos, including like reversing acne, the best supplements, what your doctor didn't tell you, metformin. And this week on Wednesday, we're coming out with a new video all about exercises. So all different workout tips for PCOS and losing weight.
I know I mentioned Ovasitol earlier. Someone said, how do you spell that? You can order it in the link in our bio.
Yeah. Yes. All right.
How to lower testosterone.
No, it's
okay, how to lower testosterone besides drinking spearmint tea. Well, you want to figure out what's driving the testosterone up in the first place. You know, is it because of insulin resistance? Is it because of overproduction of androgens, male hormones? You know, what is the issue behind all of it? So typically insulin resistance is one reason why we have a lot of testosterone. You want to get your blood sugar under control, reduce inflammation at the same time. So that doesn't mean just cutting out carbs. That means slowly lowering your carbs. Like I said, adding in the Ovasitol. For example, going gluten and dairy free to reduce inflammation. Lots you can do to help your body, not just with the testosterone level, but with PCOS symptoms.
And there's a question right here, babe.
Help. I want to get my periods because it's been 3 months since I last had it. I'm not pregnant, but I'm bloated.
AF. Shit, I'm bloated AF. Totally.
Girl, well, there's a lot I'm seeing here. So you're bloated. It could be a sign of inflammation, not being able to digest your food properly. It could be a sign of having low progesterone that makes us feel bloated because you're not having your period. So Here's what I'm going to say. If you have hangry attacks and cravings and things like this, try taking Ovasitol, see if it works for you. Also, try going gluten and dairy free to reduce your inflammation. Having great blood sugar control is key with your period health. It's key. So it makes the biggest difference. Any period problem can be tracked down to a few things, and one of them is blood sugar.
Okay. All right. So we have a question about facial hair and how can we reverse facial hair. So when it comes to facial hair, that's usually a result of insulin resistance, because insulin resistance causes an overproduction of testosterone by the ovaries, therefore leading to symptoms like facial hair, as well as hair loss and even acne and like other hyperandrogenism symptoms. So how do we reverse it? Well, one, you want to get down to the root issue of the cause. Why is there a overproduction of testosterone? Well, the insulin resistance. So managing your diet, perhaps taking something like Ovasitol, inositol supplement to help with insulin resistance. Okay. Second thing, while you're focusing on the root cause, now you can reduce the current testosterone levels by drinking something like spearmint tea. Spearmint tea has been shown in studies, if you drink it 3 times a day, it can help lower testosterone levels. So at the same time, you're taking care of the root cause, you're also reducing testosterone levels. It can start to work. The only thing is it takes about 6 to 12 months. So for 6 to 12 months, you got to focus on what's working, and just, like if it's working, then that's great. That's a good sign. Just keep doing it. And over time, it can really help, reduce.
Can someone who has PCOS still conceive?
Yes,
of course.
Absolutely.
Of course.
All right. Let's go to.
Is Mayo and D-chiroinositol like Ovasitol?
Oh, that's a good question.
Ovasitol is a combination of Mayo and D-chiroinositol.
Yes.
40-1 ratio.
Yeah. I
feel like you were about to say something, so I stopped.
No, I was gonna continue.
Do it.
So Ovasitol is a ratio of 40-1 Mayo and D-chiroinositol. Now, why is that 40-1 important? Well, that's the ratio found in the body. And when that ratio gets out of whack, that's when insulin resistance can occur and even worsen over time. So when you take a supplement like Ovasitol that has a 40-1 ratio, it helps your body to get back that ratio back into the correct 40-1, and it helps with improving your insulin resistance and much further. So that's why we love Ovasitol. It has a 40-1 ratio. It comes with a 3-month supply, because it takes about 3 to 6 months to help treat insulin resistance, and basically and by taking Ovasitol, it's possible. So yeah. Lowering DHEAS, please.
Well,
I will give you my personal experience, but Talia, please go ahead and explain.
What's yours?
Well, by the hormone test I did.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So DHEAS, stress hormone. How do we lower it? Well, you want to do an evaluation of your lifestyle. What's going on? Are you working out all the time, like really hard, burning the calories to lose weight with PCOS? Because that can really drive stress. Are you cutting calories? That can drive stress. Are you cutting carbs? That can drive stress. So there's a lot of stress with it. And then if you're not even doing that, you just naturally have high DHEAS, you can feel stressed. But in that case, I would say a lot of the things you can do include CBD, taking that to help reduce cortisol levels. You could meditate regularly to help with stress management, not just meditation, but overall keeping your day-to-day stress level at a minimum. Even though you can't control the things that are stressing you out, you can control how you're handling it. So also making sure you're getting great sleep. So 8 hours of quality sleep is sometimes hard for women with PCOS. I totally understand. But you can help with that by having a nightly ritual, making sure that you are winding down at night and not staring at your phone, maybe reading a book instead, taking your CBD meditating, doing everything to get your mind to slow down and your melatonin to go up so you can get tired and get some quality sleep.
Mhm.
And of course, there are more supplements that can help with DHEAS. There's teas, spearmint tea, things like this.
All right. Would weight resistance training and calorie deficit be best for insulin resistance? Well, okay, you got a half right, I would say. Not half right.
Weight training, yeah.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong answer, but I mean, there are some things that could hurt you with insulin resistance. So if you have insulin resistance and you go running for hours, let's say you go running for an hour, 2 hours, or maybe you're doing kickboxing, you're doing HIIT, spin classes, where you're basically just pushing your body to the limit, you're not resting, well, that can actually hurt you because with insulin resistance, your body will dump a lot of sugar into the bloodstream to use for energy. And when you actually have insulin resistance, your body's not able to convert sugar into energy and it gets stored as fat instead. So all that running can actually lead to weight plateau or weight gain. So how do we mitigate that? Well, if you want to do cardio, you want to limit cardio to 30 minutes a day. So that way, or 30 minutes a session. That way, that first 30 minutes can be very helpful for for your cardiovascular health, for losing weight and improving insulin resistance. But once you go past 30 minutes, it can actually be detrimental. The second thing is resistance training. So studies have actually showed that resistance training, weight training, can help improve insulin sensitivity. So why is this? Because it's actually creating more storage for glycogen. So it's improving insulin resistance. That's why we love it. And not to mention, weight training has also been shown to improve metabolism. It's because when you have more lean muscle, your body needs more energy. If you think about it, when you sit down, it's okay. It has enough balance. It won't fall down. When you have more muscle in the body, your body will require more energy by default. Even when you're sitting down like in front of your computer and doing work, your body will have higher metabolism because there's more muscle in the body. All right. Reshna says, you guys are so humble and adorable. Oh, thank you, Reshna. That's so sweet. We appreciate that. Can I take inositol instead of ovasitol? So I think you may be confused, sister. Ovasitol is a inositol supplement. Inositol is a generic name. It's like saying vitamin D. And then ovasitol is the brand name. It's like Garden of Life, for example. So that's basically what those are. All right. Is it okay to take stevia?
Stevia is, I don't suggest, because a lot of people take it in replacement of sugar because it's super sweet. It's like 1,000,000 times sweeter than sugar. That's an exaggeration, but kind of. Basically, your body can think that you're eating something super sweet and release a lot of insulin into your bloodstream because your body thinks that you're eating something sweet. And so that's not good for insulin resistance. We don't want a bunch of insulin. And although your blood sugar isn't going up because you're not eating sugar, your insulin is going up in response to the sweetness. So I don't suggest stevia. If you have cravings, think about how you're going to heal the cravings, not how are you going to mask them, hide them, and try to, what's the word? Kind of like give in to them with artificial sweeteners or a bunch of fruit or, masking it.
Dr. Taz MD says, always appreciate how often you go live. Oh, thank you, doctor. We do go live about 2 to 3 times a week. We do a giveaway every single time we go live. So we appreciate that. And thank you everyone for being part of it. It's very fun. It's our favorite thing for Mondays. All right. We have about 10 more minutes left or 5 more minutes left. So let's answer some more questions. Can you talk about eating portions? Good question. You have some great tips for this, actually.
Yeah. So I sometimes post my dinner plate, and I haven't for a while, so I'm sorry. But basically, with portion sizes, I like to keep 1/4 of my plate carbs, 1/4 of my plate protein, and 1/2 my plate fiber, fat, veggies, salad, something like that. So with that being said, what's a fourth? It depends how big your plate is, and a fourth on a small plate is this much carbs, a fourth on a big plate is this much carbs. You really just want to find what works for you. So if that means measuring it out and tracking it for a week just temporarily to see what's up and how much it looks like on your plate, how much you should be eating, then I think if that's something that might work for you, go for it. For some people, it might be triggering. But what we do in the sisterhood is we discover our carb tolerance. This is a big deal for PCOS. We're often told to just cut our carbs out completely. But in the sisterhood, we slowly lower our carb intake so that we are not doing anything stressful like cutting them out completely, because if we have adrenal fatigue, that can be really awful. And there is no point in completely cutting out your carbs because, number one, you can't do it forever. And PCOS is forever. So what are you going to do? Run away from carbs forever? No. You have to do other things, number two, to help with supporting your insulin sensitivity. So slowly lowering your carb intake and discovering your carb tolerance. We have like carb trackers, things like that in the sisterhood to help you with that. That can be one way. Taking your Ovasitol, which is linked in our bio to help with blood sugar control, that's another way. Reducing inflammation by going gluten and dairy-free, another way. All of these things are going to help support that insulin sensitivity and help you eat the amount of carbs that your body wants instead of the amount of carbs that your body is craving because of hormonal imbalance. And so when you treat it from the root of the issue, you'll find that the picture of your plate, the balance on your plate is a lot easier to find because your body isn't, your hunger fullness isn't dysfunctional.
Yes. And
that was a long explanation.
I love the explanation, babe. That was amazing. And Bianca says, thank you so much. You guys are really helpful. Been watching your posts, especially PCOS facts and workout. More power. Yes, more power to everyone in the sisterhood. More power to you, sisters. And Bianca, we want to make you today's giveaway winner. Congrats, Bianca. You're going to get 1 month free in the sisterhood, our membership platform for PCOS sisters. Congratulations. And for anyone wondering about the sisterhood, it's basically our membership platform to help you manage your PCOS, lose weight, and most importantly, thrive with PCOS. We have a lot of great resources in there, including the 5-stage success path, where we help you go through each stage. The first stage is discovering your PCOS type. The second stage is going gluten-free, then dairy-free. And then the fourth stage is discovering your carb tolerance and then learning how to work out in the last stage. Not just that, we have a whole workout library with different workout programs based on what you want and your expertise level. So if you want to work on lower body, if you want to work on the abs, full body, anything you want, there's a specific workout program to help you with it. We have a whole recipe section that's all gluten and dairy free for breakfast, lunch, dinner, including you can select your specific carb level and the recipes will update for you. Not just that, we have 2 live calls every single month. One is with an actual doctor who you can ask your questions to during the Zoom call. And the second is a live workout. So very, very, very fun 2 live calls a month. And we have our private Facebook group, so you can ask all your questions on the Facebook group, and we will answer you basically the same day as soon as possible. And that's all just part of the sisterhood. And yeah, it's a great community, and anyone who's been diagnosed or who's going through PCOS, it's a great resource to have, honestly.
Well, sisters, we got to wrap this up.
I suppose it.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Until next time when we go live and chat with you, or see us in the sisterhood and chat with us there.
True that. And listen to today's podcast episode, What's Your PCOS Type? And take the quiz to get a head start. Right?
Yes.
All right, everyone.
All right, sisters.
Take care. We love y'all. We'll see you guys Wednesday. Peace.
Peace.